What? What? Why, hello! Welcome to Sky's Limits Chess. I just have a couple basic ideas for you today. Just some things to help us maybe think a little bit differently about the game of chess. Just like maybe taking us a little more into creative thinking. Because I know there are a lot of lines, there's a lot of things to memorize, there's a lot of exchanges, ideas that can feel forced and sometimes scripted, and then it can become difficult to improvise if you don't think about just your thought process and when to do deep dives, how to keep your pieces guarded, because I don't know, I've never seen this before on a chess video. This is one of a kind information. We're talking about a chess checklist today. Something to actually really ground your brain in reviewing over and over. We go through it every time we make a move. We look into this checklist to see what our vulnerabilities are and what exactly to look for. So that's the idea of today's video. And we're going to apply the process elimination concept to a game that has been played by some professionals, and the way it kind of shows up and how you can use that as an idea when you're in a crucial moment to make the right move. Hopefully you do. Otherwise, you're just going to cry. And I mean, that's how it happens. You lose chess, you probably cry. That's how I feel anyways. So let's just begin. Okay. All right. That's correct. So the base mental chess checklist. It's it's chef's kiss. It's so helpful, and I don't know. I think it's amazing. So, for example, we got captures, right? While you're playing the game, you're in your 15-minute game, your 10-minute game, something at least 10 minutes or 10-5 on lead chess, so that you have time to think. And I'm going to play a game, I'm going to try to do it on a faster game, so don't get mad at me if I lose. But so the whole time before we move a piece, we think about, do we have any captures? Before you make a move, are there any captures on the board that I can make immediately? Is there anything available to me that's free that I'm not seeing? Scan the board. What pieces, areas do I threaten? And we try to see if there are any, and then maybe even there are some captures that look like a terrible idea, but it can be good to still think through it completely, because you may have miscalculated something or assumed that something wasn't takeable, but actually you could. We count defenders. How many pieces are defending this piece that I could capture? How many attackers do I have? And if I move, if I take it, are there any revealed threats that happen? That's captures. And then threats, obviously. We're looking at all their pieces. We're trying to see, are there any threats? Is there anything that's of mine that can be captured? What are the threatened squares? They're x-raying through some things. You got to consider it, because that helps you know whether or not it's possible to move a piece safely. So we can count the pieces on the board, the opponent's pieces, that threaten one of my squares or one of my pieces. So, there's a bishop coming in, lining up. That's one, if it's got some squares it can threaten. And so you just kind of want to build an awareness of all the pieces that could be threatening you soon or threatening you already. So that's that idea. And then obviously we're going to set up our defense against those threats. So we count attackers, defenders, and what revealed attacks are possible. What are some things that could happen in one move, maybe two moves? And can any piece be overloaded in one or two moves by the opponent? And this happens, I think, most often with knights, because especially early on, they move here and you don't necessarily visualize as simply what their next move is and next threatened squares are. So definitely take a look at knights and see if a knight is there, where is that knight going to go in two moves? what are some vulnerable squares that knight could be going on to? Squares that you can't threaten with a pawn are ones to really keep an eye out for. And then on your move, is it safe? Is this a safe square? And for how many turns? Because it might be safe, and then move a pawn, now you're trapped. You lose. You lost the game. You lost the game of chess. Nobody wants to lose the game of chess. That's how you cry. Anyways, so that's the basic chess checklist. Super helpful. And we take two concepts, captures and threats. Focus on those details throughout your game, and then add one more complicated idea. Just one. And practice those until they become kind of muscle memory. And what we're going to talk about today is process elimination. You could be in a position where you have to make like a very discerning move, or maybe there's an opportunity, or maybe you have a little bit of an intuition about the board and you think you might have something to expose. And so we're going to look at an example of that. Okay. All right. So kind of some cool ideas here. We have a Scotch happening. Garry Kasparov versus Jordan van Foreest. Pronounced some way correctly. It sounds like something. I'll have to find out later. But anyways, so Scotch. Very simple kind of opening. A really strong one for white because you avoid a lot of complications. Yeah. Let's see what they played in the game. So normally Scotch, e takes d4, and that's why the knight takes. And this time the other knight comes out, but sometimes knight takes in the center. This knight will take here, and then the queen will take back, right? This knight's back there, and then there's no knight to attack. This knight is gone, he's here, so he can't threaten your queen, right? So anyways, that's the idea. But in the game, we have f6, which is pretty cool. And this is like probably the strongest response. The knight comes here, threatens the queen, you win a tempo, he can't take the pawn. So he takes, strengthens his center, which is not too bad for us. And then this is where it gets interesting. We're supplying the queen to defend that pawn, which seems a little crazy to me. But, you know, whatever. And then this is the moment. This is our moment where it's time to make like a critical choice, right? You gotta choose critically here. Because we have a couple options, right? We're in check. Our king's in check. We've got to defend it or move it. If you move the king, you can't castle. You're stuck in the center. The queen's going to just beat you up. It's going to suck. So you don't want that. So you got to block with the piece. You could block with the bishop, right? You could put the bishop here, and then the queen can come here, right? And then the rook is trapped. So we don't want that. That's clearly not going to work. Maybe we want to come here. Let's take a look. Knight comes, pawn comes, queen comes, and then there's, like, you can put your queen here, and you're just losing a rook. You could put your bishop here, but you're still just losing a rook, and then with check. So that's also not going to be a strong option for us. So we want to consider what is a move. Of all our possible moves here, we've got one other that we could have looked at. That doesn't hurt us or leaves us neutral. And, of course, Garry's going to play a great move, and he does. So, guards the pawn, protected by the queen, protected by the knight. This pawn is pretty safe. This pawn's protected. There's nothing the queen can take. So, you're just kind of good for a second, and black has to make another move. So now we're threatening the queen. Queen comes up. Knight moves away because it's going to be a free knight, right? Now we get a second to bring our bishop out. We'll bring the bishop out. Counterattacking the queen. Queen comes over, and now you're just kind of playing chess. But like you had those kind of crucial moments, and you can use process and elimination to see every possible move that you could make, and then go through it in your mind and make hopefully the best choice. So that's that idea. Let's see it in a game. shall we? Okay, so we're going to keep track of captures. We're going to keep track of threats. That's 2 and 2. And we're going to keep track of process elimination. If I get to a moment that I feel like either there's an opportunity or something's in danger, I'm going to try and use that to look at all my possibilities. So let's just play a 5-minute game and just see how I do. Okay, plan, and we'll play online. And we'll do 5 minutes. 5-minute game. And this is cool. I'm white, so that's actually perfect for us. Let me make sure I'm on my streaming one. Okay. There we go. And then this is, now we have Scandinavian. So already we're getting taken off our trajectory. But I have a little bit of familiarity with this one. And see, this is similar to the Scotch. The queen's in the center, but now because our knight's here, it can take the queen, right? So we hop here to here, and then that's what we do. I think I just want to. My king's in check. I can't cover with any other piece. I could cover with my knight. Put my knight here, but then I can't really move anything. And I can't move my. I could. Let's try King's Indian. Let's block it off. Move this pawn here, bishop, and then we'll castle, and that'll be great. Oh, ooh, this is kind of interesting. So now the knight's pinned. I feel like this looks wrong to me. This position looks wrong. I think I want to play this pawn. I think I'm going to play it. And I'll castle queenside. That's fine. I'm just going to harass this queen for a second. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, so I'm moving this pawn. I can unpin this guy. Let me unpin this guy first. He might come here. Alright, I'm going to keep this knight. I don't want this knight coming here, so I push the pawn. That's some pretty good pressure, but I'm not too scared. Alright, I don't want to castle yet, because my king will wind up right here. My rook will be here, and then the queen can come in, right? Queen can come in there, so I don't want that. And this rook is lined up right here, so I won't be able to recapture with the pawn or anything like that. So it just looks kind of messy. So I think I'm going to castle kingside anyways. We'll win a tempo with this knight move, right? Because we're threatening the queen. We'll put the bishop right in here, and then we can castle. And that'll be good. Okay, great. Bishop comes here. We're supporting this pawn. And let's see what our opponent does. Okay, this actually works. Both these squares are protected because I've got this knight here. I feel like we're about to have a moment. I can feel it. Depending on our next move, I think we can do some process elimination. Okay. Yes. I was right. That's a mistake. Because, see this skewer? Alright, so I want to put my bishop here. What's in the way? This knight. How do I get rid of the knight? Let's threaten the knight. And if he takes it, see? We can block with one pawn is the only problem. So let me take this knight and just start to create some havoc. Okay, so now that was a mistake. Because now this is a pin from the bishop. And this pawn could have come here, but now he's taking up the space. So I win the queen. That's cool. Process elimination. Let's go. Okay. I don't want the rook right there. Let me move my queen. I think I'm just going to move my... No, that feels wrong. Let's threaten the other rook instead. No, because then that pawn comes down. I don't like that. If I take, the rook is here. What happens? I can move my queen over, try to win a tempo, but chop, chop, chop. That's fine. I think I'm going to ignore him. I think I'm going to ignore this. Yeah, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to let him take it. If he takes... Yep. Now I'll play this fork. So we had other options. We could have taken that, right? We could have done a bishop move to threaten the rook to get a tempo, but instead, now we are just winning a piece. And I'll just take your bishop. That's fine. And I'll recapture with the pawn. And that's cool too. Oh, okay. Nope, I don't want that. I think I'm just gonna try to simplify. So we'll threaten the bishop. I don't like that the knight can move to this square. It's not cozy. It's not cozy. I don't have a response for that yet either. Oh, yeah, I'll just take that. That's fine. And then now I can take this piece with tempo and then guard this square and the knight's defended. That's great. And I actually don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I don't really want to give him checkmate, so I'm just gonna... I loaned the queen earlier, so now I'm just up a rook, right? Feels gravy. Alright, now let's start just cleaning them out. Let me move this rook. This rook feels like a better idea. Alright, he's got possible squares here and here. That one's not guarded. I don't like that move. I only have 49 seconds. I want to open up my guy. Also, then that creates that problem. Any threatened squares in there? I don't think so. We'll try it. Let's try this one. Let's try this move. Okay. And now I'm going to start threatening pieces. Oops. Oh. That's kind of funny. But now I have the knight. I kind of like that, actually. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. Ah! It worked in the end! Alright, let me move you here. Move you right here. Okay, I'll put this here. Whoa. Put that right there. Oh no! I made a mistake. Somewhat of a mistake. Kind of a big sad mistake. We lost on time, but I think we were probably going to get it. We had a blunder. That's not great. He wants to play me again. That's cool. I'll love to play him again without explaining all this, but let's get back to just the idea for a second. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed our video today. I hope it helps bring your mind into creative thinking about the game, and then like you kind of supplement that by really keeping track of your pieces, and the checklist is a strong way to do it. You can use mine or make your own, whatever works for you. I've got it like kind of written on my wall here. Yeah, but I hope you have a wonderful day, and there's only one of us can be the best at chess, but we can all be great and find our own limits and push past it. And so that's what I hope you do. Enjoy your day.